Good morning and happy today.
Happy today. Did I do it right? Happy today?
You did. You did. You
All
got
right,
it.
good deal.
So, welcome to the show. My co-host, MattySats.
I, I I'm glad to be here with you. We I feel like we've missed a week or something.
We did. We did. We did miss a week. It was Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Oh
Belated
yeah.
Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Um, and we want to thank our sponsors as well. We want to thank Quantum Expeditions, Quantum Economics, Shield Folio, and
Yes.
the team at Bitcoin Live. We want to thank you so much for everything you do, Nick and his brother, and everyone that has a show. Thank you so much for participating and
You ever
sharing
watch
the knowledge.
Douglas Zombid?
I
You ever
have
watched
watched. I
Douglas' show?
actually, yeah, like a long time ago, probably was like 6 months ago or so.
Dude, I loved it. Just really quick before we get started, if nobody's watched Douglas yet, Douglas's show, it is so good. And he's crazy in a good way. He's crazy, like, dude, I always want to go out and have drinks with that guy. After you watch one of Douglas's shows, Zombie, like you just like want to like, dude, I want
Let's
to
go
like
have a
hang out
beer.
with you for a night at the buffet.
Nice. Um, So today's show and today's topic is it's not one of my own Bitcoin theories. I'm pretty sure this is Saifedean's theory from his book, but we are going to extrapolate on this theory. It's called Bitcoin extinction theory,
Mm.
and it is very real.
Yeah.
The first major casualty of Bitcoin extinction was the CEO of Vanguard, right? A one percenter
Yeah.
lost their job to Bitcoin. Let me repeat that. Somebody in the 1% class, literally a billionaire, lost their job because of an intangible, inanimate money.
Well, now the thing there really quick though I wanted to address on that note was I think a lot of people were really excited and jacked up on the hopium thinking that he's going to bring ETFs to Vanguard, and I was of the mindset like this is a nothing burger. He's
Yeah.
not going to do anything, and guess what? Turns out the very next day afterwards, Vanguard has come out and said they are not going to be adding Bitcoin ETFs. So again, everybody got their buns in a nut, and we're all worked up in a frothy lather. Oh yeah,
Oh, I
Vanguard is like, nope, we're
I
still
know,
not
but
doing it.
I know Vanguard said that, but do you know who the, the replacement is?
No, I know it's the guy that handled. I know who it is. I mean, I'm following the Bitcoin Live family of news as well, so I know who it is.
So I
The
mean,
fact
he's the
that
guy
it's
that
him.
built the iBit. So I
Right?
mean, he's there for a reason, right? They're saying they're not going to do it is just that's the red herring they have to put on the
Yeah,
plate for
it could
their
be. It
for
very
their
well could be.
customers, their long-term customers who are old money, right? And I
Yes.
literally, funny story. I was my buddy moved to Oregon probably like a year or so ago. He had a show over in town. I went to visit, and he has two of his friends who moved out here a couple years back. And guess what company they worked for? Vanguard.
Oh wow.
So I had to pick their brains, and they said, yeah, they think that yes, Bitcoin definitely had a little bit to do with it, but the majority of the reason why I think his name was Tim, if I'm not mistaken, Tim lost his job, is because of mutual funds, right? Let's be very clear. That's
Mm.
Vanguard's bread and butter, and ETFs over the last 10, 20 years have been taking a lot of the limelight from the
Sure.
mutual fund scene, and for him not to be on his toes and and be able to adapt and swing into that new market and take advantage of that I think is a bigger
So you're saying
part of
Vanguard,
why.
if I understand correctly, Vanguard has no exposures for their clients to any ETF products whatsoever.
I'm not 100% on that. I just know that their majority of their exposure is mutual funds because I used to invest in them. I used to invest in several of their Vanguard mutual funds through 401k with one of my employers in the, I want to say, 2000s or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but that's the majority of their business is their mutual funds. And again, I mean, Tim, it was let go in a timely fashion, and at the same time, this is not the only, you know, example, right? Like this is going to affect nation states, right? Like
It
if
is.
you look right now, China is in the death throes of their economy, literally becoming totally unhinged. And nobody wants to say it because they're like the engine of this train, of this massive economic train. And to say that, China is literally in the throes of I want to say a depression, but they can hide it very well with, they just, oh, we'll print more
And I
digital
think
yuan.
they're doing that already. Just recently, I saw more reports of I think money printers firing up over there in China. I saw something about that in regards to the property sector, real estate,
Yeah, exactly. And
needing to be propped up.
we've been talking, me and you have been talking about this for over 3 or 4 years, back
Yeah.
and forth about the Chinese commercial real estate bubble that's been
Oh,
forming for
geez.
20
Go
fucking
back and look
plus
at our
years.
timeline, people. Like
Yeah,
in
like literally, like,
2018. Oh my gosh.
I mean, most of America is still not familiar with ghost cities, and
Oh.
unfortunately, oh, I hate to be,
Oh, good job. There you go. Thank you, Nick.
yeah, the bearer of bad news, but the United States is now and performing these same kinds of magic tricks with the dollar, right? They
Yeah.
will go to your town, and now they're going to build. And they're doing it right now in Bend, like over on 27th Street. They're building literally 5 new huge neighborhoods, and I'm seeing property for sale sign, 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 for sale sign. So you're building these like 5 new neighborhoods, and this is not the only ones. They're building them all over town. Who's moving into these?
And my question is this, Jer, and who's funding and paying for these projects to be built right now in these
Exactly.
economic conditions
Who's
at these
approving these
interest rates? At
fucking
these interest
loans?
rates.
Yes, exactly. And then the other, like 2 weeks ago,
Yep.
I think it was like right after one of our shows, literally, and I go over to Sisters to go play some disc golf, and I find out there's a Tesla charging station in Sisters because Sisters is like a smaller, like almost like a country western kind of town, and I'm all happy, and I'm like, I'm
Okay.
plugged in, I'm sitting there, I'm having my kombucha, and I'm looking across the way. I kid you not. This is straight out of like 2008 shit, bro. I look up, I see CrossFit, Cascade Fitness, Longbow Fitness, and something else fit. I literally 4 fucking fitness stores. We're talking one after the other, maybe one store in between the four. What loan officer approved that shit? Like, I've asked for real loans, given business plans, and they're like, no. But this 4 fitness places in one little town that might have, let me see.
Are they laundering money?
What's
Are they
the
laundering money? I'm thinking it might be
Siri? What's the
a money
population
laundering
of
operation,
Sisters,
Gerald.
Oregon? Here's what I found. There's 3,000 people that live in Sisters. And you got 4 workout places next to each other? Come on. Again, going back, right? So how does China do this, right? Like what is this? Like what is this little game they do? So the realtor, right? The developer comes to the bank and they're like, we're going to build these 10 mega like apartment slash condo buildings, right? And they're like, okay, how much do you need? We need $75 billion. Okay, here you go. Then they build these things in like literally 2 years. And then they're like, when people are going to move in? Oh, in like 5 to 10 years. Guess what? Nobody ever moves in. The buildings sit there. Or if people do move in, it's like, okay, 10 people live in this building that can house 1,000 people, right?
Yeah.
Again, and then fast forward to like 2020, what was it, 2021 or 2022? Now they're
Building them
demoing
all.
all these zombie cities. So again, now I'm starting to see these same types of shell games going on in the US, right? And it's like, holy moly, are you kidding me? Like, again, Bitcoin stops this chicanery. Like, people don't understand like how it does this, but It does,
So,
right?
so Nick's got some good questions here.
Yes.
That he's kind of dropping in, and let's just address these. Is China going Bitcoin extinct too, or are they secretly mining it and eradicating their working population after finishing the cities for the elite to live in? Gerald,
That's a deep question.
Nick's getting deep. I don't know. He must be on some ayahuasca trip back there in Amsterdam. I don't know what he's on.
Him and Chris, or him and Chris Pan, huh?
It's late back there in Europe. I don't know. They do things different. They're on a metric system, for crying out loud.
I love the metric system.
I love you,
That's
Nick.
one of the reasons. Uh,
Tinfoil hats.
let me address. Yeah, let me address your question, and then we'll get into the metric system. Um, so yeah, I China is secretly mining Bitcoin, but not the state, right? So there's lots of entities that legally are allowed to mine because if they have the correct credentials and they're paying for all the certifications and they got the correct power, they're not jacking power from like a box or something like that. But
Yeah.
there's also illegal secret miners that are still operating in China because they know they're just like I
Mm.
can just use a VPN, and if I keep my power consumption to X, it's non-detectable almost, right? And this is going to continue on, right? Like Venezuela just said, we're banning mining. Oh, you fucking idiots. Oh my gosh. Okay, this just in, Venezuela, you're about to pull a China, right? What did China do? They kicked out the miners, and then 6 months after that happened, their economy started going in a death spiral, and then they'd go print fuck tons of money. Surprise. So good luck,
Right.
Venezuela, because you're about to do the same thing. And then, I'm not familiar with that term, to be honest with you. I haven't heard that term. So that's info I'm not familiar with, Nick, which is very rare, but hey, I love to learn new stuff. What companies, but aren't those companies in power blackboards? Yeah, I'm not even. So you're saying like it's almost like a board, but it's like a hidden board of a company. Is that what you're kind of trying to say, Nick?
Hmm. Private class. Well, okay. I see what he's saying. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, with China, it's always a mystery. It's an enigma wrapped in a riddle, wrapped inside a puzzle, wrapped inside some beef jerky and string cheese. So you just never
Yeah,
know.
because again, like
Maybe not the beef jerky and
perfect
string cheese
example
part, but
of how the U.S. really doesn't know what's going on. Look at what's happening this week, right? You got President Biden and Senator Warren all up in arms with this Bitcoin mining facility that would be near a nuclear missile site, which again shows they're techno boomer idiots, right? Like cryptographic money can't get into your cryptographic missile system, right? Like that's like, hello, are you stupid? Like that's like I'm
yeah,
gonna
I think from their
change this
standpoint,
orange into an apple. Go ahead, sorry.
I think though from their standpoint, Joe, they're looking at more just like from the proximity, whether it's a Bitcoin mining operation or any other farm. I think they brought up the same concerns when it was agricultural based products that they were looking at in other states in the southeast as well. And so it wasn't just crypto mining. Yes, this case in particular was, but I think the concern is that Chinese companies, Chinese organizations that are tied to the CCCP buying up property near United States military installations, whether it's a farm of Bitcoin or a farm of corn or any kind, having a Chinese foreign national company slash government owning property next to a sensitive military installation is kind of a concern. I kind of agree with that. Now, I would be of the proponent and say, hey, let's not let the Chinese company own the farm there in Wyoming. Why can't we find an American based company or maybe Quantum Economics or Quantum Expeditions or a company that aligns with our views and ideology, etc., and have a country or a company own that farm there versus a Chinese owned company? That's all I'm saying. And so I think that was just to be the devil's advocate in the debate to push back there, G.
No. I get that, but again, as we stated in our show, um, the Chinese government, in conjunction with the Chinese mob, right, are laundering hundreds of millions of dollars every quarter out of our country from within our country, right? There's literally the Chinese mob's been operating unimpeded in the United States for like 20 some years. But yeah, okay, this one Bitcoin mining farm, let's jump on their shit.
Right.
Like that's my big pet peeve with
Yeah,
it.
and
Like,
I
to
get
be
I
honest.
get that I think the targeting of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency obviously is different, but I do think though whether and just my own 2 cents here on this final topic, and we
Mhm.
can transition. But I think any foreign country that is an adversary or aligns adversarially against your views or your viewpoints should probably not own property next to sensitive military installations. I don't care whether it's China or North Korea or Russia, or if we ended up going to war with Congo and Tibet or whoever, right? If you
Yeah,
are
yeah.
an
I
enemy of
agree.
the United States, you should not be owning property next to military installations, period, full
Yeah.
stop. I don't care what you do. And we need to
US
support American
assets.
countries,
Yeah. And
American industry, American innovation, and allow those people and those entrepreneurs to flourish and get a stronghold versus outside foreign interests. That's all I'm
I
trying to say.
agree.
I don't
I
want to
agree.
sound xenophobic or a nationalist or whatever. I'm just being a human being speaking from my heart because I love the country where I live.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. And again, um, Bitcoin extinction is a real thing, right? It's going to take out billionaires, it's going to take out countries, it's going to take out poor people, middle class people. It doesn't care. And that's the thing, is that people don't understand. Bitcoin doesn't have any political affiliations. It's just
No.
programmed to do its thing, which is
Yep.
to eliminate fiat money, right? And people don't realize that that the dollar itself might go away, but the unit of measure of the dollar won't go away,
Yeah, I would
right?
say the dollar as a brand. The
Yeah.
brand of the US dollar, kind of like Coke or Pepsi, like
Yeah,
the brand
exactly.
of the dollar will still be there, but will
Yeah,
it be
and
the
the
world
unit.
reserve currency? And I think that we see with the advent of stable coins coming on, this is good. This is going to be the big thing, I think, here as we move through the rest of 2024 into 25 are going to be stable coins. And you tie in the Safe Banking Act and what's all coming through the bipartisan support here in the US from both sides of Congress. There's a lot that's going to unhappen there.
Oh, I totally agree, and, you just perfect segue right into the next segment, and, Nick, if you could share, the screen, we're gonna get into my video. It went a little semi-viral last week,
Oh yeah, your
and
rant. This was a good one.
yeah, and let's get into it. Give me 1 second, I just gotta hit play.
Yeah, dude, I said you should write a book.
What? Oh, sorry, wrong one. I thought it was
And
on
Nick
my
says she'll buy
page.
the book too. Look at that. You've already got 2 pre-orders already on online right there while we're doing it. 2
I
pre-orders for
could
the book from
I
the
could have
Oracle.
sworn, oh, there it is. I could have sworn I had it. Oh, sorry, I didn't see share the right screen. My apology.
Are you sure you know how to self-custody Bitcoin, bro? I'm sorry.
No, that was fine.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you sure
Saving
that's coffee in this
in
cup? What are we drinking
Bitcoin
this morning?
is because these
Whatever it is, I don't know.
CBDCs
Whatever it is.
will have expiration dates. Now, I don't think they'll be as short as time frame as they are
All right,
in
I'll start it
China,
over. Give
but
me
they
1
will
second.
have like
Boom.
All right. Yeah.
howdy, folks. So, why it is imperative that you start stacking sats, why you start saving in Bitcoin. A main reason. So the CBDCs are coming, right? They just made the announcement the other day that JP Morgan and all these other banks are working on a interoperable blockchain platform to use their, Fed coin on. So the main reason you need to stack sats and start saving in Bitcoin is because these CBDCs will have expiration dates. Now, I don't think they'll be as short as time frame as they are in China, but they will have like a 365 day, like a 366 day expiration, or maybe a 2-year, right? But it will stop you from having the ability to save at all. So if you want to be able to save for the future, you must start saving in Bitcoin. Facts. Take care, and please share.
So let's unpack. So again, this isn't hyperbolic conjecture, right? Like the Chinese government has already been issuing their digital renminbi or yuan, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
for almost 4 years now, right? I think it's
Mhm.
2020 or 2021.
Yeah.
And they do have expiration dates on them. So this is not something I made up, right?
Can you
Like this is
imagine, just really quick, can you imagine the sentiment in like mainstream America? Let's say you went to like Mobile, Alabama, and you just told like John Dewey, hey, bro, the money in your bank, if you don't use it by the end of the year, it's going to expire and be gone. Do you think that's going to go over well with like Red
no,
State America,
not
with
at all.
Mega
That's not
America?
going to go over with most of America.
Well,
That's why I'm
I'm sure
trying
the
to
leftist
warn
liberals will be like,
everyone.
oh, it's great because it's for the environment. And we, but I think most people, whether outside of the extremes, most normal people, would be like, this is not cool. This is not cool.
No, not at all. And I'm sorry, I was reading something real quick. But, this is where we're at, and literally, and 2 days after I made that video, Christine Lagarde, the head of the European Central Bank, comes
Yeah.
out and says what? Oh, here comes the digital euro, and you can still use cash, and you
It's
can still
amazing. You
use the
sound so
euro,
much
and you
like
can
her.
do
I don't know how
whatever
you
you
do that. You
want.
have such a talent. You sound exactly like
Thank
her.
you.
I close my eyes. Oh my gosh,
It's great.
Christine, are you with us now?
Hello, I
Hello,
am.
Christine.
Yes,
Let's do
you
a
must
fake
you
interview
must
with
spend
Christine.
your digital euro within 1 year.
Why does she sound like she's selling Swiss Miss Cocoa now?
But oh yeah, here it is.
Digital
Go.
euro is on the move. Yesterday, the Governing Council of the ECB approved the opening of the preparation phase.
Surprise!
It will be a journey, and we will walk the journey together with the legislator. All European institutions will be involved to
All
make sure that Europe
institutions.
is
All.
equipped with the currency of the future.
All.
Cash is here to stay.
Lie,
You will have all options.
lie,
Cash and digital cash.
lie.
That is a lie.
So what does it mean for you?
That was a big lie.
For consumers, it would be free and easy to use everywhere in the euro area.
That part's true.
All of that, of course, is subject to the legislative process. Cash or digital, the choice will be yours.
No, it won't. That's the part she's lying out her butt.
No, it won't. No, it won't. Hold on a second. I got something here.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Where did it go? All right, so this this just proves to you that Christine Lagarde is lying. Nick, if you want to pull up my screen, I think I've got it shared.
Ooh, I'm excited.
This proves to you that Christine Lagarde is lying, and she does not know what she's talking about. Here on my screen, this is from a WEF summit from earlier this year. And this guy is the central bank planner from Bahrain, and he pretty much comes out and tells us point blank about their whole plan to drop cash.
Oh yes,
and move to a CBDC.
I saw this video. It's
so
great
whenever
video.
you're ready, here, Nick, are you ready? Let's go.
He says you need to switch tabs. You gotta. You're not sharing the right tab.
Am I not sharing? There
we go.
If we think cash is the analog.
Okay. Do we have it now? Is it?
I heard him,
working
but I
or
couldn't
not?
see him. No.
If we think cash is the analog, and digital currency is the form of digital. CBDC is the digital form.
Are you hearing it, or I don't know?
Yeah, I'm hearing
in
it.
a hybrid situation. We're using both. And we know in the past, when it comes to cash, central bankers were very much in control with all aspects of cash. And now we're comfortable to the point where the private sector plays a big role in the printing of the cash, in distribution of the cash, and with the private sector, we use interest rates to manage the supply of cash. The same thing is likely to happen with CBDC. Yes, the central bank will have a role, but at some point in time, the same way we don't call it central bank cash, we're probably going to stop calling it central bank digital.
No, we're not.
It's going to be
Fuck
a
you.
digital form of the cash, and at some point in time, hopefully, we will be able to be 100% digital. People are used to it. Right now, is many of our payments are digital. The truth is, I said that we're in a hybrid model. There's less and less use of cash. And I think that from predominantly digital with a little physical, I think the transition to fully digital is not going to be a stretch. People are used to it, people have engaged in it, and circumstances did help. Is adoption rates increased because of COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, so COVID helped. Oh, look at that. They were using COVID to help push
something of a
get rid of
necessity,
cash.
something of a safety,
Surprise.
something of a requirement. And because of that, there is very little resistance. Trust is already there. We just need to build it in a way that makes sure that we safeguard the risks. Cybersecurity risk is a must, and it needs to be dealt with at the national level. And to counter cybersecurity risk, you need to continue to invest, you need to continue to collaborate, and you need to continue to train. With those three things, we've done it in the past. I think we should be able to manage these risks.
Yeah. Again, counter mandating everything Christine Lagarde just said. Like, like Matty was saying, she's lying. Yes, correct. They keep saying that cash will still be available. No, it won't. Like, stop lying to the public. You're just lying. It's like literally a big fat lie, right? Because again, it's a lot easier for them to eliminate cash because it's a physical thing you have to print, right? Like, people don't understand, like, printing coins and printing cash still costs lots of money, people, right? Do you know how much one of those engravers that makes the plates makes? They're pretty good living. But unfortunately, it sounds like those engravers are last days are coming because we're going to digital, and there'll be graphic artists doing your dollars coming soon. But the big news behind that, which I put another video up yesterday about, which has just started going around, and we're not going to share that video, but I'll just give you the TLDW. Too long didn't watch. Is that literally I get a notification from one of my banks yesterday, and we all get these emails all the time from social media and your emails provider and all these other digital services that we use, and it literally said the terms and conditions of your digital agreement is changing. Like, they threw the word digital in there, and I was like, huh? So then I started reading. I was like, oh, a new digital wallet's being introduced called Paze, P-A-Z-E, and it's a cryptographically based wallet. Oh, surprise.
Oh, imagine that.
So guess what's coming? Your dollar stablecoins, which JPOW said nobody's working on. Yeah, okay, liar. Because guess what? Like I said in the other video, BlackRock, was it JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Amex, Visa, all these banks and money processors are all working on what? A dollar coin. Surprise. So get ready, because it's coming, and there's nothing you or I can do about it except stack fucking sats. You're welcome.
Yeah. Something else just on this whole banking issue. We had the big victory this week in the Senate And there was a lot of bipartisan support on that SB 121, shutting down SEC's proposal. Really, I think a lot of this, though, is a lot of political theater. When we're talking about should banks, blah, 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 should they not, blah, 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 all this stuff going on in Congress and the headlines around stablecoins, et cetera. This is all a bunch of noise versus signal, because I have it pulled up here on my screen, Nick, whenever you're ready to share it. But dating back to 2021, Gerald, you already know this. We've talked about this ad nauseum, and you've seen it before, but we'll just share it again. There was advisement and guidance put forth by both institutions, the FDIC and the OCC, and this is directly from the OCC's website in 2021. I have it up on my screen right now, talking about and giving guidance for crypto asset custody, facilitating of customer purchases and sales of crypto assets, loans collateralized by crypto assets, activities involving payments, including stable coins. And this is all, again, from the OCC. If you click on it up here at the very top, you'll see where I've got it, or I'm circling it there. That's from the OCC's website right there back in 2021, where they're giving, and this was, again, with the FDIC. They put this out together. Again, guidance on crypto custody assets, loans, stable coins, everything is being talked about right now. Can they do it? Can they not? The big government agencies are already on board. They're saying, hey, this is what we need to do. This is what we would advise. This is what we would like to see. So all of this is just political theater back and forth, especially in election year, to drive votes. So I really think it's just a lot of signal versus noise. And if you know where it's a smoke screen. So if you know where the puck is going and you know what's really going on, and you're able to discern that, then you can have a little more peace of mind, a little more confidence, and just like Jerry says, just stack sats. Just, Matt Odell had the best line years ago, and I think we've all ripped him off. Stay humble, stack sats. God bless Matt Odell. And that's the best financial advice you can give anybody. Stay humble, stack sats.
Well, I mean, it's a valid question. People, people understand technology, do want their privacy. Monero.
Oh, wait, what was the question, though? I didn't hear what the question was.
What about privacy coins like Monero and others?
You can't talk about Monero because it's private.
Oh, it's illegal.
It's private. It's privacy coins.
Private.
You gotta talk like this. We talk about Monero.
Okay.
Private.
We'll whisper it.
Okay, Gerald.
So, privacy coins. I think what we're gonna see is privacy comes back to Bitcoin, and we won't need privacy coins. So that's my theory on that one. I actually heard some devs talking about this the other day, Bitcoin devs, where we can bring privacy back to Bitcoin.
Yeah, it definitely. I mean, yeah.
And again, the people that don't believe that it is it is traceable, but it's not trackable, right? And let's make this clear distinction for the non-techie people, which is about 89% of America. Trackable is, right, if you take that Bitcoin address and put it into the block explorer, it'll tell you how much coin that person has, and you can see where it went, right? That's traceable. Trackable is, your phone has, a GPS signal, Bluetooth. There's all these frequencies your phone put off, and they can follow you around everywhere you go. One of my biggest pet peeves is when somebody like a Monero fanboy says this to me, like, "Oh man, you're using the state coin and blah blah blah." I'm like, dude, they know everything you effing do to the keystroke, and you're worried about Bitcoin. I was like, Bitcoin actually takes some of that power back, but you're clickety-clacking away on the internet, and you think that's private? You clearly don't understand the internet.
You're not using DuckDuckGo. You're, so whatever, dude.
But yeah, these people who claim that they're so super private, and yet you're on Twitter, right? Like, hello. But yeah, I don't think, Like you can technically, you could take the dollars in your pocket and take those serial numbers and trace them if you want back to the Fed. But I don't see any Americans doing that ever.
No.
So my point is, it's just like, who cares? They'll just be digits on the screen, and you pay attention when you're, sending and receiving, right? That's about it.
That was an interesting tweet and comment put out by a lot of folks here over the last 24, 48 hours on the heels of the big win in the Senate, the bipartisan support against the crypto rate. There you go. Yeah. So let me. So do you think who do you think knows more about crypto, Joe Biden or Scrooge McDuck? I mean. The quote that came out was that Biden was saying that he would veto SB 121, saying that we need more protections for American consumers in the crypto industry. And I'm thinking, do you trust this guy with your private keys? Does this guy even know how to self-custody? Who knows more about crypto, Scrooge McDuck or Joe Biden?
I mean, it's a tough one. It's a tough one because you want to say Scrooge, but then you see Scrooge McDuck sitting on a big pile of gold coins, and then you're like, he's a gold bug. So it's like,
but those gold coins could be those gold coins. Yeah, let's put out a poll. There you go. But those gold coins could be like Bitcoin. They almost could be like Bitcoin, right? It could be
technically, yeah. But I get. I don't personally. Again, Biden is.
Do you feel comfortable? Let me ask you. Do you feel comfortable taking any kind of? Do you think Joe Biden has the wherewithal to understand self-custody, decentralization, or have even read the Bitcoin white paper?
No.
To have an honest, educated conversation about just the basics of blockchain, Bitcoin, and DeFi. I don't think he does. Honestly,
I don't think any of the candidates running, not even Kennedy, does, even though he claims to.
No.
Because, I see him a month ago talking to Charles Hodgkinson. Cardano!
Done. Next, punch him.
I was like, okay, so clearly you don't get Bitcoin.
Obviously, the tweet that went pretty viral last week from Mar-a-Lago, Trump had all the crypto folks down there. Ryan Selkis, 2-bit idiot from Asari, was there. He's one of the big vocal advocates leading the charge. And you saw the video where like he goes, "Yeah, you with the goggles." Maybe Nick can pull it up, but the kid says, "Hey, all the Bitcoin, blockchain, crypto companies are moving overseas," and Trump basically addresses all of this and says that and he calls it crypto. There's many different kinds of crypto. What's your favorite flavor? Like he's talking about ice cream or something.
Yeah.
But basically, he comes out and says, if you're pro Bitcoin, if you're pro crypto, vote Trump, right? Well, obviously, he's got smarter advisors speaking to him, on his team that are younger, that actually understand what this technology really means, the innovation, and if we want to keep America as a leader and secure our future. There it is. Yeah, thank you, Nick.
Goggles on. A lot of the smartest people in crypto are moving their businesses out of the U.S. because they're scared of the U.S.'s regulations.
Because of the hostility.
Correct.
Yeah, crypto is moving out of the U.S. because of hostility toward crypto.
Correct. So what are you going to do to stop it?
Well, we'll stop it because I don't want that. I want that. If we're going to embrace it, we have to let them be here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Again, I said this in the last election, that this is going to become a bipartisan issue, unfortunately, and it is what it is. Trump picked a side, Biden picked his side, and guess what? It's not the winning side, Biden. Sorry. And I'm not a Trump fan
even
at all.
Maxine Waters, of all people, who heads the House Judiciary or the House Financial Services Committee, right? Like even Maxine Waters, who has been seen cozying up to SBF, and we have video of her blowing SBF kisses, and so she's probably got a lot of money from SBF over the years. But even her working with Patrick McHenry, again, showing some serious bipartisan support to bring about some decent legislation that, the Safe Banking Act, that I think is going to, create a whole new burgeoning industry for stablecoins here in the U.S. and stablecoin issuers. So, but my big question, and, Nick Carter, a well-known Bitcoin advocate, was out there talking and saying again, stable coins, blah, blah, blah. But again, my question that we even brought up with Mr. Greenspan on quantum economics, asked the advisor, is, of Oklahoma. Is that where he was? Okay, thanks. My question is this: if stable coins are backed by the dollar, and the dollar is continually being printed ad nauseum and coming down in value, then don't you need more dollars to back those stable coins? And shouldn't I just hold Bitcoin instead? Like that goes kind of back to what you were saying in your video last week, Jared. Just save, just stack sats and hodl. Why would you want the stable coins if you know that they're being backed by something that's continually being devalued?
Yeah, you're going to have to like use them as a tool, but I don't think they're a savings tool anymore. Right? They're going to take that
Oklahoma
part of the equation from analog money away, right? That was the best feature of analog money. I could take these shitty pennies, stick them into this piggy bank, and after I fill up this piggy bank, there's $20, $30, $50 in there. Again, that's not going to be the case with these stable coins. These stable coins will have expiration dates, and whether it's 2, 4, 6, they'll be like bonds, right? 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, something like that. And again, people will just have to deal with it. The best way to deal with it, stack sats.
And the other thing that I'm hearing is that with these stable coins, they are programmable in the sense of like, if you're outside of your geolocation, let's say you live in one metropolitan area and you go to another metropolitan area, those stable coins might not work there because they can be programmed to limit access, movement, and means of purchase. The other thing as well is that if you've gone over your carbon credit, guess what, Gerald? And this won't apply to you because you're a vegan, but oh my gosh, if you've consumed in your carbon credits for too much, guess what? You can't buy red meat. You can't buy certain things because you've exceeded this or that. Now, my question really comes down to if it is this programmable money that we're hearing about, we're seeing and kind of concerned about, then what does that mean for folks? Like, okay, you got your US Fed coin, right? Are you then going to be allowed to like go on Cash App and purchase Bitcoin? You know what I mean? Like, are they going to?
Are they going to put restrictions on the stable coins to buy Bitcoin?
To buy the real asset. So they're going to again use that as a walled garden again to keep folks.
Oh, definitely. That's very astute of you. Yes, I think that is very probable. That you will not be able.
And then if you want to buy the hard asset, you've got to meet all these thresholds and requirements.
Yeah, you got to have currency. Yeah, your social score's got to be this number.
Right, exactly. You've got to be a high net worth individual. You've got to be pre-approved, and we kind of go back to this kind of analog stuff that we're going through right now.
Accredited investors, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. So is that on the horizon? That's kind of my concern.
That's something that Bitcoin's trying to destroy, right? So them putting these technological filters in place to kind of phase us out, it really won't work, right? It just won't work. Like again, you're trying to right, we're pouring water into this big sieve and you're saying you're going to stop it, right? That's what America's saying they're going to do, right? Like that's what Bitcoin is. Like Bitcoin is so pervasive now that it's like trying to say you're going to stop electricity, right? Or stop the internet or stop human communication. Like these are literally ludicrous statements in and of themselves, and we're at that point, right? America had the chance. The United States had the chance to snuff out Bitcoin many times, but they time and time again they could not. Right? There's this great anecdote from the Bitcoin canon from maybe like 2017 or something, like 2016, where this very wealthy individual takes $500 million and goes and approaches these military grade hackers that worked for the government, these white/black hat hackers that are
more like gray hats.
Gray hat hackers.
More like a gray hat.
But these guys are
maybe it was like a knit hat, like a beanie. I don't know what they were wearing. You never know.
But
Yeah.
He comes to these guys and says, if you can hack a Bitcoin, I will give you $500 million. They come back like 4 weeks later, slide the check back over across the table. Sorry, can't do it. And that's when, you know, the smart powers that be, and the NSA, the CIA, these really upper echelon entities started to realize, like, holy shit, this stuff's like, it's impossible to kill this thing, huh? Yes, exactly. And we're there, right? We're at the point where, you know, even though gold and silver we're pumping this week, good job, gold and silver bucks. These people still think that, you know, gold's going to go to $10,000, and it's like, you do realize that right now every bank in America is buying Bitcoin, not gold.
Dude,
right?
the recent 13F announcement, dude, I don't know if you've been watching this. We're on this app crazy. The recent slew of announcements coming out left and right. Everyone and their mom is dropping a 13F filing declaring what they're holding is for. I mean, like it's like insane the amount of 13F filings that are coming out. It's left and right. People that I didn't even know holding Bitcoin are like, oh, we're holding Bitcoin. It's going to become like the trendy thing, and that makes it go parabolic, man. I mean, it's insane.
Oh yeah, literally all of these bears. It's going back down. Let me pull up. I think I have a really nice chart. Let me share this.
Oh, I love nice charts.
So
I like nice charts, and I cannot lie.
you notice something? Yeah, look at how green this chart is right here, right? Let's look over here. This is when Bitcoin's price started to go down, right? Right about here. And why is that? Because there was lots of outflows, because these are the newbies in the ETFs who think they are smarter than Bitcoin, right? These are the boomers and some kid who's like 42 who had inherited 200K. He bought all these iBit at the bottom and they went up $20, and he's a genius, right? And here's him selling right there, right? There's these people selling their ETFs here. Now, if you look at the last couple days, notice stacky, 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 stacky. What do you think the price is going to do? It's about to go to $130,000. This is a fact. You can't stop this train, motherfuckers. Not having. Sorry. But yes, it's going to $130,000. I don't know, next month, this month, soon, real soon, probably a couple weeks, maybe 2 months. But again, all of these people that sold their ETS, they're going to learn a very valuable lesson. You should have just stacked sats and chilled, because that's how it works.
Yeah. I'm thinking that we kind of talked about this earlier, but I kind of shared it that the bottom was in when the outflows after 80 straight days of outflows.
And I retweeted that. I was like, you are 100% correct, sir.
If you wanted to know when the bottom was in, that was your sign. There was the bottom. It's the 80 days of outflows stopped. Right. I tweet out so much.
And
stuff,
now
I can't even find my stuff
GBTC
now,
has now 2 days of inflows, which I mean, one was like a couple weeks ago, and one was just the other day. So now you've got Grayscale buying, and who knows more about Bitcoin than all of the other ETFs? Grayscale. So you watch. I mean, no, I'm not a big, you know, Barry fan anymore. They still have been doing it way longer than Larry and the clowns behind them, right? So when I see Grayscale buying, you should be buying. I mean, I try and stack every day. I tell people, but
is it Grayscale, or is it people that are coming in through Grayscale?
Yes,
I think it's more
people coming in through Grayscale. But my point being is, people are starting to recognize that, you know, that Grayscale is the leader, right? Like, even though iBit's been killing it and Fidelity knows what they're doing, the powers that be know that, you know, Grayscale knows what they're doing. And again, seeing inflows into the GBTC is very positive. And another chart I wanted to pull up is the infamous hash rate chart.
I can't find it.
Da-da-da-da. And look, what do we see here? Oh, it's at 615 exahashes. Where's the death spiral? Where's the minor death spiral? Yeah, it's not happening. That's why. Because we're at
Yeah, I thought they're all supposed to
615
unplug or something,
exahashes
weren't they?
right now. Yeah. Oh, everyone unplugged, clearly, because we're at 615 exahashes as we speak. Yeah, okay. So the thing I noticed about the hash rate chart, and this is, I think, yearly. Let me zoom out. And let's go to an actual 3-month chart. Okay, here's that spike we hit in April 23rd. And then we can see it came down right here. And then literally within a week or so, that's when the price started to recede. But we can see it is literally, let's pull out to a month. It's touching 700 again, touching, like, getting right in here. We're going to push past 800 exahashes easily in the next, like, I would say 2 months. So we're going right back into the 800 exahash range. And at that point, all bets are off, unless we do see some minor capitulation. But right now, I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing big farms turn off. I'm just not seeing it happen. And that's good news, y'all. That's real good news. Bullish.
All right.
And if you want, let's see. Let me see if I can find that video from the other day. We can watch that as well. Let's see. One sec, because I didn't have that one saved. There it is.
About 10 days ago warning why you need Bitcoin, right? Because the CBDCs are coming. So I got a very interesting email from one of my banks. And when I opened it up, I was like, wait a second. That didn't say the terms and conditions and agreements are changing, or, you know, user conditions are changing or something to that effect. It said something completely different. So let me just read you the sentence I read, and I was like, I'm going to read this email. And I'm not going to mention the bank, but upcoming changes to our digital service agreement. Interesting. So then, as somebody who's very curious about many things, I started to read on, and oh, what did I find? A new thing called Paze, P-A-Z-E, added information about how to activate your Paze digital wallet and what information is shared. And then I was like, well, what's Paze? Oh, Paze combines a 16-digit token with a 20-byte cryptogram to create a unique number for each transaction, which is intended to enhance security. Like I've been saying for 5 years, your banks don't use cryptography to protect your money. Now they're trying to do that. What does that also mean? That means
what does it mean?
Crypto dollars are coming, y'all. Like I said, start saving in Bitcoin, protect your wealth.
Yeah. So again, the stablecoins are coming, y'all. The federal stablecoins are coming, and you're going to have to deal with it, right? Like, there's a lot of Americans that still can't even compose an email. Right? This is not me being hyperbolic at all, right? Literally, I saw video today. I've warned about Venmo scams, right? Venmo and Zelle scams. She was just walking through the park in New York. Some kids came up to her, said they're raising money for their basketball team. Said, "Oh yeah, no, well, yeah, oh, we take Zelle and Venmo." Yeah, nope. That should be the red flag right out the gate, right? And she hands a phone. "Oh, I'll put the info in." And of course, the kid put his phone number in that he wants the money to go to, and then put $2,000 send, and said, "Here's your phone." Yeah. So, and guess what the bank told her? "Sorry, nothing we can
Why
do
did you
for
hand
you."
your phone to the kid in the first place, you idiot?
Yeah,
You know, if you're
stupid.
stupid enough to do that, then go for it. You know, then
Yeah,
that's on you. I have no problems laughing at that person because you're stupid and you gave away your phone to some kid.
yeah. Well, again, the reason why I'm making this kind of connection is because I use Zelle to pay my rent, right? And about a year ago, they started putting up this new warning, right? And I shared this warning on my other X profile to let people know that's like, what does this sound like to you? And literally the warning comes up and it's like, be sure this is the correct information, the correct person you're sending to, because if this is wrong, guess what? Oh well, poof, the money's gone.
Right.
And literally last year, my roommate was hiking in, the Colorado Rockies, and somebody who understands technology, I was like, when you're back in town, let me know when you're back in town, because I'm not going to send you this money and have it, get into one of these like almost like SMS bubbles, right? And because if that happens, and then you don't get the text, well, guess what? Poof, the money's gone. Just like crypto. Funny, huh? But yeah, be very careful with Zelle and Venmo, right? They're very unsecure platforms. They're very convenient and very handy to use when, I got to send $20 to a friend, or I got to, zap $50 for a payment for a bill or something like that. It's great. But if somebody's coming up to you and approaching you, asking you for a big Zelle payment, yeah, red flag. Or saying, "We're raising money and we're using Venmo." Well, where's the Venmo QR code? And for the school, right, it should be like on a flyer and look official. Scan it with another device, right? So it brings you, it's like, oh, it's this high school's basketball team's Venmo. Oh, okay, maybe I will make a donation. But get some, info before you just, hand somebody your phone, because that's a big no-no. I don't hand anybody my phone. Sorry. I don't trust anybody with my phone.
Yeah. In today's world, we have so much private, secure information on our phones. Giving that access to somebody that you don't know is completely irresponsible, totally negligible, and it's all on you if you're stupid enough to do that.
Yeah. And again, she called her bank, and guess what her bank said? "Sorry, too bad. Nothing we can do. It's gone."
I just think that I think sometimes the mentality of the world has changed so much that it's like the meme of, what am I taking, crazy pills? The ideology and the methodology of thinking that some folks employ, and I know I'm not the brightest bulb, but I'm like, what are you thinking? Like, where do you think you're entitled to this, or why do you think you're entitled to this? This sense of overall entitlement has just gotten so rampant and out of control. It's really debilitating the cognitive abilities of most people throughout the world.
Well, it's fiat brainwashing, right? So it's proof of stake brainwashing, right? Like you start to implement these models, and then it slowly over time, these things start to break down, right? So the first thing that comes down when you overprint money is shrinkflation, right? And that's been happening since the 80s. I've been warning about shrinkflation since like 92,
I was
right?
looking at your Twitter timeline back in 1989. You were tweeting about it.
I was on it.
You were on it, dude.
And literally, just from your toothpaste, right? Just look at your toothpaste, a tube of toothpaste from 1984, then look at a tube of toothpaste from 1994, and then go look at a fucking tube of toothpaste from 2004, and you'll see it smaller, smaller, smaller. And then to get back to pricing, I tell people go watch Clerks, go watch the original Clerks and the black and white one, and go look in the scene where, you know, there's plenty of scenes when there's people standing in front of the counter. Go look how much a pack of Marlboros is on the back of the wall. It's like $3 or $4, right? How much is a pack of Marlboros now? $25, $22.
Are they really? I don't know how much a pack of smokes
yeah.
are. I don't smoke, so
Literally, it's almost $20-$30 a pack. It's
no
insane.
way. Really?
I'm Googling. Yeah.
No
I'll Google
way,
it right
dude.
now. Siri, what's the average cost of a pack of cigarettes in the United States?
Well, there's got to be a lot of additional fees and.
Yeah, she says $5 to $10. Wait, what year are you talking about, girlfriend? Cigarettes have not been that price since I was in high school. Are you a crack? Like, even Siri's lying to us. Here, look, liar. They're not $5. $5 was when I was in college. That's how much a pack of smoke cost.
So
That was 90.
Siri's in on the brainwashing operation too.
Yeah, that's 92. By the way, that's when the last time a pack of smokes was $5. Yeah, a pack of smokes of the worst tobacco in the universe might be $5. Like, you know, like the America brand. Right?
Yeah, maybe American spirits are more, you know, the natural, pest-free, trendy, hipster.
But even
smokes might be more,
Marlboros.
I don't know.
I gotta now I gotta Google it because Siri's a liar.
Everybody's a liar except you, Gerald. That's why we're here. Here, you want to talk about? Let's see if I can share this. If I do this right, if I'm smart enough to figure this out now. Sharing this on my screen. We're just talking about
$10. There you go. $10. That's the average price.
This is something that I shared back on the 14th of May. And now already you can pull it up, Nick. This is just a chart and a graph of McDonald's and just looking at how their prices have increased over the last 10 years, right? And you just look at the different costs for the different items of how much that's increased from 2014 to 2024. And now on the heels of this being out, just to show you how like mainstream this has gone, there's now a Daily Mail news article about this. The same exact thing, and McDonald's is also addressing their pricing when it comes to this inflation. They see this, you know, they see that this is a major concern. And again,
no, you're trying to play the video.
I don't know what video.
Oh no, I thought you had like another clip or something. I'm sorry, but no, this is exactly what we're talking about, right? So you keep printing money, and shrinkflation occurs, product quality goes down, right? And then we get to the pandemic. You're handing out free money left and right, and then people have no sense of value anymore. Literally no sense of value. Bitcoin restores your sense of value, right? Because it's not a proof of stake, right? We can't just print, and then debase everything in the process, right? And then be surprised when everything sucks. Why does everything suck? Because we've debased the currency over the last 100 years and printed it ad infinitum, and now everything's going to shit from houses to your food to diamonds too. Diamonds are becoming a shit coin. That's my new one. You want me to break that one down for you? So they have literally a new ad campaign going for lab created diamonds, right? So all of these diamond producers are all on this ad campaign to push lab created gems because no one will buy the real ones because it costs too much. So they're making this big move to push proof of stake diamonds, which is going to do what? It's going to drop the cost of lab created gems, but then eventually they don't want it to affect the cost of real gems, but it will affect the cost of real gems as well. And they're not taking that into consideration.
The Daily Mail article.
Oh, there you go.
Here's the Daily Mail article, piggybacking off of the graph that I shared on Monday. And again, now Daily Mail, I think they're watching my Twitter account because they just watch my Twitter account and then they make up stories. I really feel like somebody there is watching. But this is, again, I put this out on May 14th, sharing this graph. Now here you see, what is it? When is this story dated? Oh, the 19th, today. Okay, so 5 days later.
Oh, you're breaking up just a bit.
I shared the article or shared the graph and the info. Now the Daily Mail is talking about it. And again, I don't know. Like, we lost everything, so I don't know.
No, this is exactly correct. As we keep printing and printing and printing, it just debases everything, right? It debases everything from food to product quality, shrinkflation. You get less, right? Like there's literally these. One of the few snack treats that I still can eat and love is this little peanut butter pretzel, right? Um, that you can get. It's like by Utz, right? I forget the name of the brand, but they used to be like, one used to be about that big. Now they're about, I get a bag the other day from a vending machine. The bag's like this skinny, it's this long, and they're about half the size. I'm like, wonder why that happened. Oh, thanks, pandemic. Thanks for ruining my pretzel treats too. But yeah, printing money ad infinitum, unfortunately, leads to the debasement and the quality of products to go down over time. You know, it takes 50, 100 years. But we're seeing it right now, and we're in the full throes of, the debasement of the dollar, right? Where they're just going to keep printing it, right? They stopped printing it for a few years, and then just printed this huge omnibus bill, another huge omnibus bill, another huge omnibus bill. And what are they going to do?
Oh, they're going to do something with Quaker Oats, it looks like. Oh, it's shrinkflation. Okay. I was getting excited because I was getting hungry. I was like, oh, we're going to have some breakfast. We're doing something with Quaker Oats.
But yeah, get 20, right? There was these, I think I told you this, it looks like it was maybe like 6 months ago. There's this, I guess it's Dove makes them, or they're a subdivision of Dove, Magnum. They make these Magnum like ice cream bars, or vegan one, and you just get 4 in a box.
Yeah, the ice cream bars, yeah.
Yeah, now you get 3. That's such a great number, 3, because 4 was too even. But yeah, again, this will continue to happen as we continue to print money. You're in another couple of years, you get 2 ice cream bars when you used to get 4, right? And yes, Bitcoin does fix this. I know people think that's a big joke when we say Bitcoin fixes this, Bitcoin fixes that. No, Bitcoin fixes this.
Look, just to be devil's advocate, how does Bitcoin fix the 4 to 3 Magnum ice cream bars in a box? How do I get 4 instead of, how do I get that back, Gerald? If I,
it take 20 years, right? But we
go 20 years, Gerald.
I know.
Downhill side of my life, bro. I'm trying to.
If you need that extra one, you got to buy 2 boxes. You know what I mean? If you want that 4th one, you got to buy 2 boxes. If you want Bitcoin to fix it, it's going to take 20 years because again, we go back to a standardized hard money, and eventually, right, quality becomes integral into the model again, because we value it, right? As America, we've had this model for many years, and back in the 30s and 40s, before the dollar had 70 years of debasement as a currency, and it really got really bad in the last 10 years because they printed about 10 to 12 trillion dollars really fast, and that's a lot of money to print really quickly. But you go back into the 30s and 40s and 50s, and before we got to the plastic era, right? Because plastics, that's another form of debasement, right? They found out, oh, we can put this garbage in everything and cheapen down all of these goods and products and services that we use. And it was a good thing. But again, before we got to the plastic movement, all American durable goods were quality, right? Look at go look at a toaster from like 1955, and then go look at a toaster from today, right? Go look at a radio made from like 1945, and then go look at a radio made today, and the evidence is clear as day, right? And like I said, back in the beginning, before America started printing trillions of dollars for, their many wars that they love to print money for, the quality of goods and services in America were at a much higher level. Facts. Yeah, producers will be incentivized to produce better goods because they know they're getting the best money in the world, right? They're not getting this crappy money. And it's the same thing if we take the reverse side of that, right? If we go to one of these countries like Zimbabwe, or we go to one of these countries like Venezuela right now, and you do have to have a wheelbarrow full of cash to get a couple of items.
They're throwing out the cash in Venezuela right now. I'm not even going to pull anything up on my Twitter because I don't know what's going on with the feed and the streams and everything. It kicked me out last time, but maybe Nick can pull it up. They are literally, you see bags of plastic trash bags of money in Venezuela right now.
And that's because they just changed the dollar around again, right? They just changed the paper money again. And again, it's all of these emerging market economies that are attached to the dollar, they're going to continually get hammered as the dollar performs well, and that's just not good for you if you live in one of these emerging market economies, right? Like, that's why Bitcoin is going to be okay, because it doesn't need the West, right? Like, we need it, but the West itself doesn't need it right now, right? As a savings account, I think we do. But there's a lot of people who are like, I'll just use dollars. Oh, I'll just use Zelle. I'll use Venmo. And it's very convenient and simple. And they get it and they understand it. But people in Zimbabwe, they need fucking Bitcoin. People in El Salvador, they need fucking Bitcoin. People in Montevideo, people in Joburg, people in little places in the middle of nowhere, Australia, like South Queensland, the corner where nobody lives, and there's no.
Hey, Angie lives there. Infinity times me lives there. Don't talk shit about Australia and that little corner where Angie lives.
I'm not talking shit. I'm saying they need Bitcoin.
Well, yeah, okay.
And there's
live in some like little.
No, she lives in a
little corner.
No, she lives in a nice town, but there's parts of her, territory where there's just like my county, there's little towns where people have to drive miles and miles just to get to a Walmart, let alone a bank. And again, Bitcoin fixes that, right? Like, I can send somebody in the Amazon right now, if somebody in the Amazon needed $20, I could send that to them in 2 minutes.
Somebody in the Amazon would need $20 for right now. Just curious. As long as we're talking about it, like, hey, my name's
Ayahuasca,
and I live in the Amazon. I need $20 for mangoes. What do you need $20 for in the Amazon?
I said ayahuasca, mangoes, rice,
some rope, maybe.
Rope.
Some rope. I'm gonna go rope.
There you go, rope.
Maybe you're making a raft. I don't know.
A paddle, paddle for a raft.
And do they even have banks in the Amazon? Is there like the central bank of the Amazon?
Like, if you're on the river, no. That's the point.
The
Lightning Network
out in the Amazon, as far as I'm concerned.
And that's the thing, is like, but guess what's there? There is some fishermen in a boat.
Do they have cell phone towers in the Amazon that way?
Yes, correct. And he has a phone, whether it's a flip phone or not. He's got a phone, right? And even with flip phone technology, right, there are ways to send sats with SMS, right? So again, this is why Bitcoin is the best money ever, right? It can be sent peer to peer. It can be sent through the Lightning Network. It can be sent through an SMS. It could be sent through a ham radio, right? So again,
what about a ham sandwich? Because that would be really cool.
Not yet, but I'm sure somebody's working on it.
You can probably buy a ham sandwich with Bitcoin, though.
Of course, yes.
Okay.
All right. Well, it's been about an hour, gents. I think we covered a lot. Yeah. And again, want to thank MattySats. Want to thank Nick. Want to thank Team Bitcoin Live. Want to thank Quantum Economics, Quantum Expeditions,
I want to
Shield
thank
Folio.
Xfinity for the awesome internet service and connection today. That has just been stellar.
Fire. Yeah,
Thank
so
you
good.
for the awesome internet connection and service today, Xfinity.
Great
Do a
job.
bang up job. Maybe we can get them to sponsor this show too.
And again, stay safe, stack sats, be humble, as Matty says, as he says, Matt Odell, a quote.
We're all
That's
just
all
ripping
you
off
do.
Matt Odell. Let's be honest. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's all you can really do in this day and age. Is take some of your shitty paper money, convert it to Bitcoin, and that is your savings, right? That is your rainy day, retirement account, right? And
Or
don't
when you have to pay $25,000 to fix the roof on your house, that's probably a good
that
reason
that
to have some Bitcoin on hand.
that can happen as well. But yes, I mean, it is the way to go, because again, these digital dollars will have expiration dates. How long they will be, I don't know. But most of America is not going to enjoy the crypto dollars that are coming. Peace.
Oh.